What extremely rare thing did you witness in person? I witnessed the effects of the coronal mass ejection in March 1989. I was driving home on the west end of Prince Edward Island, Canada. There was plenty of snow on the ground still. I stopped at a stop sign on a slight rise of a hill, and while stopped I noticed the snow was glittering in weird, very vibrant colors. This slight rise was in an area with no trees in sight. I could see the horizon 360 degrees. From the north horizon I noticed a waterfall of color flowing across the night sky from north to south. It flowed quickly like a fast flowing river, and it encompassed the entire sky from horizon to horizon. It was absolutely astonishing. It lasted hours and I watched it for quite a few of them. Even with today's CGI I have not seen anything that compares to that night. An airborne decapitation. At an air show as a kid 30-ish years ago, they were doing a skydiving trick, where 2 divers spiraled downward. Then 2 planes spiraled around them downward. One of the planes hit a skydiver, killing him. Last air show I ever went to. In South Africa thunderstorms are quite common, but they were always the usual sheet or fork lightning. Nothing special. The one time there were these strange looking storm clouds very high up above us, much higher than regular storm thunder clouds, and the lightning was these slow moving bolts. Think of a short laser beam of lightning shooting between these clouds. It was the wackiest thing I ever saw. I saw a wheel come loose off a van as it attempted a right hand turn. The wheel rolled through traffic into the open bay of a tire store across the street. 1 in a million odds. I was on a train and nobody else in the train car saw it happen. Huge section of cliff falling into the Gallatin River, easily the size of a football field, came down all at once. I witnessed my buddy hit a hole-in-one on a par 4. Dude had never played golf minus frequent driving range visits and was having a horrific day before it. 1996 Maldives. I'm sat in the bar, alone drinking a cocktail and enjoying the view over the flat calm lagoon. The bar juts out into the lagoon, so it is surrounded by water apart from a little bit joining it to the island. Suddenly a small fish jumps out of the water, then it jumps again but higher, and then a third time a little higher still. It takes the 4th jump at about 90 degrees to the other 3, and then a duck off big fish with teeth and everything jumps out of the water and catches it in the air. Then the lagoon went back to flat calm. I saw a grizzly bear and a wolf feed on the same bison carcass at the same time in Yellowstone. I saw a bird shit directly into a woman's mouth once. Saw a manta ray leap out of the water and over a family playing in the water just off the coast of South Carolina. It didn't make a sound or as much as a splash. I was pretty young, but remember it as clear as yesterday. One of the most beautiful things I have ever witnessed. Also quite amazing how big those things are. Flying to Reno back in the 90s. There was this awesome comet that turned out to have a bigger display than people predicted. I forget which comet it was. Winter of 96 or 97. Anyway, looked out the window. Clear sky. Full moon lighting up the mountains. And this big ass comet hanging below the moon. It was awesome. I saw a fish fall out of the sky during a particularly rainy day, hit the ground, and got swept into the gutter. Fire rainbows are pretty rare, mostly just drenching a corner of a cloud in colors. One day at an air show, my dad and I as well as about 50 other people witnessed the most extravagant color show I've ever seen. Fire rainbows were in half the sky. It was the most beautiful natural event I've ever seen. July 2011. I say to my wife the International Space Station is going over tonight. It's a clear sky, and we agree to pop out to the country where there is less light pollution and take the kids who are 12 and 8. We park in a field gate and the youngest boy sees it first. We watch and it goes overhead and then splits in 2. We watch it. I'm thinking, has it broken up or something? The 2 parts slowly move apart. We are puzzled. I drive home and thinking any disaster would be on the news. So I watch that. Turns out, the final shuttle mission had just been completed and we had watched Shuttle Atlantis depart the ice for the final time. Back in the 1980s, I was on a plane and saw the space shuttle being carried piggyback on another plane. I saw someone take off their cap and stamp on it, like they do in cartoons. I saw Niagara Falls mostly frozen over in February 2015. It was eerily quiet. Saw two turtle doves fly into each other head on. I was there when the German crews were tearing down the last part of the Berlin Wall that was to be removed. It was the double wall section near the Depelusing area. We followed along and busted some chunks off and picked up pieces to take home. Northern lights near my house. It usually doesn't happen that far south. I saw someone drive off with the nozzle from the gas pump. It triggered the fire suppression system and everything looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man exploded. My grandfather took me to the hockey game where Buffalo Sabres goalie Clint Malarkuk had his carotid artery cut and his jugular vein partially sliced by an errant hockey skate. He was bleeding out on the ice in front of our eyes. The Sabres trainer, who had been a US Army combat medic in Vietnam, knew to reach in the wound and pinch off the artery to save his life. In 1974 I was living in Delray Beach, and I was hanging out at the back door looking out talking to my sister who lived in Illinois. All of a sudden there was a huge ball of fire in the sky, and I told her I thought an airplane had just exploded over the West Palm Beach airport. Later watching the news I learned that it was a meteor that had fallen into Lake Okeechobee. I saw an albino peacock in my driveway a day after I moved into my current house. I was sitting at an outdoor bar and watched a fly buzzing around just drop dead all of a sudden and land next to me. I touched it with my finger to see if it would move a leg or something, but it was 100% dead. I lived on a sailboat off of Mexico. One day this huge item floated under the water. It was longer than the 44 feet sailboat. Then it breathed, and we could tell what it was. It was a mom and baby blue whale. They kinda hung out near us. I think mom was explaining what a boat was. Actually saw a tree fall in the forest onto the trail ahead of us as we were hiking in a national park. I was swimming in the Pacific when 4 dolphins swam up to me, danced in circles, and swam between my legs. When they got close again I noticed one of the 4 looked more like a baby orca. That was a bright indigo color with a very tall dorsal fin. It barely looked real. I pet them all, and they swam off to play in the waves. It was the most magical moment of my life. My friend and I have the same birthday. One day at work, it was a Friday, we got on an elevator. There were 3 other guys on it. One says to the others, "Big day tomorrow." I asked what the occasion was. The guys say, "It's our birthday tomorrow, all 3 of us." I said, "Crazy man. But you know tomorrow is my birthday and my friend's birthday as well." We all got our down lows out and compared, and yup, 5 semi-random guys on an elevator all had the same birthday. I think the odds are 1/365 4 or 1/17.8b if the fact that it was the next day isn't significant. Ball of lightning. God, that shit is bizarre. I was 14 and I just saw it going down some train tracks. After it disappeared there was this loud boom and I'm not sure if it exploded or made contact with something or someone. My first trip to Vegas. I was at the roulette wheel, yeah, I know. Guy walks up to the table and puts something like 500 on green. Turns to me and says, "Green's going to hit. You should bet on it." I don't. The ball drops and hits green. Dude says, "Let it ride." I still don't bet green. Ball drops and it hits green the second time in a row. Guy cashes out and leaves the table. I leave too, but I'm feeling really stupid by then. I saw a mountain lion when I was 5 walking through my grandma's backyard. She lives in Connecticut and supposedly they were considered extinct in that area in the 90s. This was in the Ninites, by the way. I saw a woman slip on a banana peel. Saw a biker gang in Texas putting on sunblock. Southbound along a French motorway during a full moon. As I drove further south, the moon gradually segued from blood red to reddish copper to pale gold. So beautiful. I have never seen it before or since, and it will live in my memory as a perfect experience. My gramps used to play blackjack on the original Northeasts. One day he tried teaching me how to play. I was 6 or so. I had a face card and a 7. He told me to stay. I hit. Got a 3 and he had a fit. Now he's doubling the pressure on me to stay at 20. I didn't like the pressure but found his expressions hilarious. He was really into blackjack. So I hit. Got an ace and he proceeded to pace around the house swearing about how lucky I was. Best time ever. Saw someone drop their phone into the tiny gap between the elevator floor and the hallway floor. There was a good 10 seconds of stunned silence before anyone even said anything. The girl's boyfriend immediately started rambling about how they needed to go buy a lottery ticket. She was not as amused by this as he was. We were also on the 20-something floor, so absolutely zero chance of recovering said phone. On a bus tour in Denali National Park, we came across a pack of 6 wolves in broad daylight, casually walking along. The bus driver said he had been doing this for 30 years and had never seen anything like it. We were supposed to go on the tour the previous day, but my parents lost the tickets. He said the day before it rained and they didn't see a single thing. While visiting New Zealand, my girlfriend and I saw a key in the parking lot after a hike to a glacier. The bird had landed on someone's Jeep. So cool and so lucky. I saw someone roll 4d20 and get all 20s. 1 in 160,000 for true dice. Well, several years ago there were some solar flares hitting Earth. I live in southern Maine. It was dark, and my husband drove up and told me to go outside. We lay in the grass and watched a tremendously beautiful light show in the sky. It was like being on acid, which we were not. The sky was just split into beautiful patterns in pink. I have seen the aurora borealis, and this was it on steroids. Absolutely stunning. Wish we had videoed it. But cell phones did not have good cameras. Our neighbor was outside as well. First McDonald's opening in Moscow. McDonald's wasn't anything special in my country, and I was a little kid. We were in Moscow because of my dad's work. He said, "Oh, by the way, do you guys want McDonald's for dinner tonight? One's just opening here today." We thought it might be busy, but we weren't ready for the insanity. The line in front of it spanned several neighborhoods, and it was on the news and everything. We obviously gave up on it immediately. As a little kid looking forward to some fries and chicken nuggets, I was super disappointed. As an actual old person now, I'm amazed that I got to see it. It was such a mark moment of communist Russianness into the transition into capitalism. I once rolled up to a stoplight, and when I looked to the right I saw a man sucking on a woman's toes while in the driver's seat of his car. He made eye contact with me and dropped the foot. Once the light was green he just sped off. I don't know how rare that is, but I've never seen anything like that before. I broke up with my longtime girlfriend in 2003 and started traveling. In 2010 I was back in the States doing a contract in a city and had a dream where I saw my old black Labrador that we had together back in 2003. In this dream I was in a white room and I got down on my knee and called her name. She scampered into the room past me. I called her again by name. She turned and came to me, except her fur was now white but had black roots. Her eyes were sewn shut and I kissed her face. This dream reoccurred 4 nights in a row. On Friday I wrote my ex an email, who I had not spoken to in 7 years, and told her the dream. She wrote me back and told me that our dog had fought cancer and had to be put down on the first night I saw her in my dream, and that she thought our dog always wondered what happened to me and was coming to me in my dreams. I sat on the edge of the bed in that hotel and wailed for 30 minutes. I've seen a great white shark in an aquarium. It was at Monterey Bay Aquarium more than a decade ago. This was the longest and most successful time a great white was held in captivity. For those who don't know, they usually die very quickly in captivity because they are accustomed to roaming the ocean and using a great amount of space to swim. They get depression in captivity, and so there has only been a handful of times they've ever been on public display. Thanks for watching. Comment your favorite story and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe.